Hannah Embry.
And I'm Gina Joshua.
And for our Community Assets project for working with parents and families class, we decided to spend the afternoon in an area called Montebello, which is near where I live. It's out by the airport. And it definitely has a reputation for being ghetto, poverty-ridden. Demographics are largely African American, Latino. When we bought this house, which is just on the other side of the freeway from that area, a lot of people immediately on hearing the name discouraged us from purchasing this house because the area sort of near it has such a negative reputation. We've had a completely positive experience so far living near that area where we are, and so I thought it would be a good opportunity to sort of spend some time, because we really haven't explored over there very much, don't know very much about it. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity to sort of see if there's any truth behind a lot of what people say about it, or if it's not really based on anything. We plan on looking for some community assets, looking for what some visible community issues might be in terms of what's available to people in the general public and what we can see just spending an afternoon.
I had never heard of this neighborhood before meeting Hannah, so I'm super excited to check it out, look for some assets, spend the afternoon walking around.
This is my neighbor Patty, and she was just telling us to be careful because I told her where we were going and what we were doing.
Where you're going.
Why do we need to be careful?
Do not go singly, go doubles.
Not safe?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Patty.
Even the little tiny ones. Not safe.
Okay, thank you. So this is Montebello. There's a giant drainage canal. The light's kind of bad, but it looks pretty disgusting and kind of like it might be a bit of a issue for a community. And crossing the street, we have Welcome to Montebello, Dignity, Pride, Diversity, and behind it there's St. Andrew Lutheran Church and School, and it says over there that there's an early learning center, so we don't know for sure if, the quality of it, but it is a community asset that does seem to be available.
We just came across this charter school called Northeast Academy. It looks really nice from the outside. There's nice landscaping. There's a great playground on the other side. So yeah, we were pretty surprised and excited to find this. This looks like a great asset for the community.
So we're encountering quite a few homes that kind of look like this, I guess, just sort of average, but not really kept up, and things like bars on the windows seems like it's pretty common in a lot of the homes around here.
We just came across this great looking park. It's really big, the grass is green, and there's lots of children's sports teams using it for practice. We just came across another school. It's an elementary school. It looks nice from the outside, but we've been talking to some local people who live around here, and they say the opposite. They said a lot of the schools around here are very bad.
All right, the things I like about Montebello is, I won't say a family community, but sometimes people get along with each other. It's not too bad. You can go chill at the parks. I've been living out here my whole life, so that's what I pretty much like. What I dislike is the racial profiling with the police, the gang violence, so you can't really take your daughter, your kids to the park, nothing too much, nothing too heavy. We really get no love from the community, really, so it's a downfall.
Have you guys ever had any issues living here, like safety or crime, or like in the house
just,
or anything?
Burglaries.
Burglaries. Is that pretty common, you'd say, for most people's homes?
Nah,
or
I had like 3.
in your whole life?
Yeah, in this house, yeah.
Okay. Thank you for talking with us. So we just found this community garden next to a public elementary school, and the sign said that the program is called Learning Landscapes, and there's rows and rows of tomato plants, and it looks like stuff is growing really well, and we thought that was a great
community asset for the kids at the school and for the whole community as well.
Gina and I just returned from our afternoon exploring Montebello, and we definitely found some community assets that were really great to see and kind of surprising based on the pretty negative reputation that the neighborhood has. We saw some really nice, well-maintained parks with kids playing outside, a lot of structured, organized team sports going on. We saw a lot of signs advertising community programs, assistance programs all over the place with phone numbers and addresses, and they were sort of like help with food subsidies, medical aid, childcare, things like that. We found churches that were advertising early childhood care. We spoke with several families that discussed the fact that it was still a very family-oriented community despite a lot of the issues that the community has.
Some potential issues that we did find in the community were that it was not very well maintained. A lot of the homes were run down. There were bars on the windows. The grass wasn't maintained. And the gentleman we talked to expressed that there was a lot of gang violence and crime. And we were surprised to hear that he did not think that 3 times was very many to be robbed. Also, he expressed racial profiling was a problem with the police.
Several of the people that we spoke with expressed a lot of experience with gang violence, racial profiling on the part of police, drug issues, and home invasion issues, and all of these things would obviously be ones that would affect students and their learning. If you're not physically safe, if your family is not safe, if every day on your way to and from school you're encountering gangs, all of those things are issues that would definitely have an impact on an early learner going to school. We thought that funds of knowledge that would be possible for this community, just based on our brief observation, initially we were thinking of things like street smarts and common sense and keeping yourself safe in kind of unsafe situations, so a lot of survival tactics, where to find the types of resources that you need, where to find healthcare for your kids, where to find child care for your kids. There's a lot of community resources that way, and so we thought that people would have from generation to generation knowledge about how to navigate within their community. We also spoke with several families where there were multiple generations living in the house, and they expressed how valuable they thought it was that the community had once been and still to some extent is so family oriented, and that cultural component of a real focus on the family and family values and being close-knit is definitely a positive strength and a fund of knowledge for this community and a strong asset.
So a culturally responsive teacher working in a school in this community would first of all need to be non-judgmental, especially if they live and come from outside of the community. They would also need to be realistic about the background and family life that these kids have. And finally, when interacting with families, especially during conflicts, the rerun strategy would be very effective.